Hello and welcome back to the Job Not Done podcast. And the hard truth is, guys, if you're not being honest with yourself, you'll never find success. This is one of the things that is most important in life. So if you're not honest with yourself, you're never going to find success, ever, ever, ever. Always remember that. And there's a couple things we can do to help you do that, right? The first thing is you are going to need to prevent negative habitual behaviors before they happen. So what exactly does this mean? Well, it doesn't mean things that necessarily take you off track, things that you enjoy doing, right? Because I think you should be allowed to do things that you like, but I also think you have a list of priorities first. But we'll get into all that down the line. An example of this could be playing video games before chores, school, or work. Whatever it may be, or it could be something that you do every morning you're not proud of, right? Something like eating terrible food, like eating processed food and snacks every day. Even if it's just in the morning, that can still affect your health long term. So it's really important to make sure you're getting, natural vitamins and bioavailable organic foods, right? And starting your day off with a bang. But it's not all about health, right? It's mostly about mindset. And that could be one of your associated goals is with health. Like that would be the way to do it is to cut out everything processed. We need to understand that it's going to be different for you depending on what your negative habit is, right? So for everybody, it's a little bit different, right? For some people, and it may seem so unrecognizable to you, like for example, like getting out of bed, hit the snooze alarm, 5 minutes go by. You hit the snooze alarm again. 5 minutes go by. Just get up. Just get up. Start your day. Make your bed. Right? When you come home, you got a nice, cozy bed waiting for you. Easy thing. Easy thing you can do. Does it give you long term success directly? No. But there are little things that you can do or little things that you can cut out of your routine that will help you gain a kind of progression towards success. So make sure you're focusing on that every day, everywhere you can. It's going to be hard. So, one thing I do want to preface though is that do not try to think that you can do this within the span of a week, right? It's going to take time because unfortunately we are human, we are habitual creatures, and it sucks, but that's the way it is, right? If you look at actually most smokers, the way they, see their smoking habits is by smoking less and less and less, or having like substitutes for like nicotine, essentially, right? Or whether that be like people who are struggling with like overeating, right? Because your body still is burning calories every day, and like the more you weigh, the more you're gonna burn. That's actually just how it works, right? So the higher like weight you have, the higher basal metabolic rate you have. So that's just you burning just throughout the day. You could sit all day and that's how much you're burning, right? So because eating is still required to survive, right? But that's besides the point. The next thing that'll really push you closer towards the finish line is always going for gold, right? And put in 100% effort, no matter what it is, every single thing you do. This is super important because I see this happen all the time, especially young men. They try something and they fail at it, whatever, right? But then, someone tells them, "Oh, you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't go for that. Maybe you're good at something else." No, if you want to do it, keep doing it, right? Keep persisting on and going as hard as you can and putting all your effort into that. Because who knows, man, one day you'll end up loving that thing. And that'll actually be for the next episode. We'll talk about, passion, vocation, calling, that kind of thing. But yeah, even the little things. I really want you to, this can be part of your habits, right? Your negative habits, like expelling those negative habits, right? Little things like brushing teeth, even just, your handwriting. Like, I know it sounds stupid, and I have seen some really bad handwriting, but that makes you look so much more professional when you're writing with better handwriting. If a teacher sees you and they notice that you don't have very good handwriting, but you're not doing very well in their class, they might think that you don't care, right? And I know some people like they might have like problems with their hands and nerve problems. That's fine, right? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is be diligent, have a work ethic in every little thing you do, down to the last detail. Because at the end of the day, it's the little things that matter. It's focusing on those little things, putting a lot of work into those little things, whether it's at practice, at school, at work, home, with the family, like it doesn't matter, right? With your friends, relationships, like everything. Do it with everything. You'll feel so much better about yourself. And you'll actually find like most of your negative habits will kind of like they'll kind of fade away a little bit, right? It'll take time, right? And I'm not denying that. It will take time. So don't think you're gonna go into this just erasing it one day, right? Erasing all those things in one day. It's really not possible, right? Let's stick with it. That's the most important thing. And then the big things, right? This actually, even though I say that the little things are more important, the big things are actually just as, or even like more important depending on what it is comparative to the little things. Once you can have down the small things, right? That's just something you're doing every day. Then you've created a positive habit. Then you look at the big things, for example, like exams, occupational work ethic. So basically workplace ethic, right? Practicing during whatever sport you play, and especially in like social connections with other human beings, right? Because if you're not putting in that 100%, you're not going to create relationships. You're not going to start a family. You're not going to be able to start a family. You're not going to be able to maintain a family. You're not going to make connections. You're not going to network, right? And that could take you away from future opportunities and future success. So that's why being honest with yourself is very important. Am I a sociable person? No. Okay, what can I do? What are bad things or negative things that I can cut out to make me a more sociable person? Boom, there you go. Then you say, okay, to the next thing, go for the goal, right? Work as hard as you can, put 100% effort into doing that, and you never know what happens, right? You never know who's watching, that kind of thing. Kind of the next step or putting it kind of just happens, right? Is once you get to a point in your life where you've kind of noticed, okay, I've done like the step one, right? Prevent negative bad habits. Step two, put 100% effort in everything I do. Like once you're internally honest with yourself, you may not find success right away. Like once you actually become honest with yourself, and people around you may notice this too. They may notice that you've changed, and that's a result of your internal honesty. But maintaining the self-honesty, even when you get a little bit of failure, is super important and it's a foundation in your life. It's a foundation necessary for success. It doesn't guarantee success. Please listen to me carefully. It doesn't guarantee success, but it is a necessary foundation of success. And I think we as humans, we think we deserve something when we do something hard or we've worked hard. And we do deserve something, right? We think we deserve everything in the world, even when we do something hard. But that's not necessarily true, right? Because when it comes down to is if you're seeking approval from other people, like that's the worst thing you can do. Because you're seeking their kind of mindset on the world, not yours. Because if you're internally honest, then you're going to seek your own opinion on yourself, right? Because it comes down to you. Because anybody can help you do what you want to do, whether it's sports or it doesn't even matter what it is. If you can't put in the work, if you can't put in the time, you're not going to get better. You're not going to have a chance for success. Listen to me when I say that. Have a chance for success. You're not even going to know what it's like. Failure is growth, guys. Failure is growth. Please hear this again. Failure is growth. That's okay to screw up, to fuck up. We're not perfect, okay? You're gonna fail every single day, even if it's a small failure, even if it's a small L, right? That's why we stack the little W's. That's why we grind out every day. That's why we do not give up. Because when we don't give up, we build discipline. Because we're not constantly motivated, we become disciplined. And that is how you find success. When you're disciplined and you're outworking everybody in the room, oh my gosh, a whole world of opportunities, a whole world of possibilities open up for you. And I think you'll realize this once you get into a routine without the negative habits, putting in 100% hard work, like all these things. And I know people say, work smart, not hard. No, you got to work hard. You got to work hard. Be efficient at it, right? People, that's what lazy people say. Work smart, not hard. Bunch of BS. Work your freaking ass off, man. I don't care what other people say, right? Because it's about what you think about yourself. Because you're going to put in the work, and the only person you can be is yourself. The only person you can be is yourself. No one else. There may be somebody who's physically better than you, whether it's, you're running in a race, or someone throws harder than you in baseball, or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, you're the one who's beating yourself. Already from the get-go, before the game even starts, before you even get in the office, before you get to the classroom, man, like, you gotta have a hungry, big dog mentality. Get in there and get fucking shit done. Don't let all the stupid ass haters out there tell you how the world's supposed to be. You dictate your story and you make your own fucking success. Okay? Don't let them take that away from you. Ask yourself, why do I do this? Why do I do this? Right? And we'll get into more of that next episode. Final note here. The main thing that I want you to kind of take away, or maybe put your focus on in these next couple of days here. And I know it's summertime, so a lot of you are probably out of school. But if you're practicing a sport, if you're trying to get better on an instrument, this is what I want you to think about. Block out all the negatives in your life. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. And let that be fuel for you. Let that fuel your mind to drag mediocrity in fucking dirt. And say, I can, motherfucker, and I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna keep winning. Even if I don't win right away, I'm gonna keep going until I fucking win. And this is necessary for success. However, it doesn't guarantee. But while practicing diligence and then finally maintaining that foundation that is required to be built for success. Keep this in mind. Hard work doesn't guarantee success, but is absolutely required for success. Thanks for coming and watching, everybody. I hope you appreciated this episode. Thanks for the love on the first short I posted. We got 1,100 views on it. I'm really excited to post more short form media. Please make sure if you like this content, like, subscribe, comment. I love the feedback. I'm learning how to video edit all of this stuff. So thanks for coming. And remember this: don't approach life with a one-day mentality, but approach it with a day one mentality. I'll see you next time. Have a good time. Peace.